Hello and a massive warm welcome to everyone tuning in. Before we start, I just want to say, wow.
It really is amazing, isn't it, Mark? We have seen so many new people joining our community this week.
Exactly. To all our English learning buddies out there, whether you have been with us for a year or just clicked on this video 5 seconds ago, thank you. You are the reason we turn these microphones on.
We are so grateful to be part of your morning commute, your evening walk, or maybe your washing the dishes time?
Definitely the dishwashing time. That is usually when I listen to podcasts. But Sarah, speaking of time, I have a confession to make.
Oh no. Mark, what did you do? Or what did you not do?
Well, yesterday I told myself, Mark, you are going to be productive. I sat down to learn some new vocabulary for a Spanish project I'm working on. I had my textbook, my highlighter, my notebook.
That sounds like a great start.
It was a great start, for about 6 minutes. Then I checked my phone, then I got a snack, then I fell asleep on the sofa. I failed, Sarah. I was just lazy.
Mark, that is actually perfect.
Perfect? I wasted 2 hours.
No, it is perfect for our topic today, because today, English buddies, we are not going to tell you to work harder. We're going to talk about the lazy guide to fluent English.
The lazy guide? Okay, now I'm listening. Are you saying I can learn English while sleeping on the sofa?
Not exactly while sleeping, but almost. You see, many people think learning a language means suffering. They think if it doesn't hurt, it's not working. But actually, efficiency is better than hard work. Mark, imagine you have a garden, and in that garden, you have a small, delicate plant.
Okay, I have a plant. Let's call him Robert the Rose.
Okay, Robert the Rose. Now, imagine you forget to water Robert for a month, and then on one Sunday you say, I must work hard. So you pour 500 buckets of water on Robert all at once. What happens to Robert?
Robert is dead. I drowned him.
Exactly. You worked hard pouring those 500 buckets. You sweated, you were tired, but you killed the plant. Now, what if you were lazy? What if you just threw a small cup of water on him every morning while you drank your coffee?
That sounds easy. It takes 10 seconds.
And Robert would be alive and beautiful. This is the secret to lazy English. We want small cups of water, not buckets.
I love this idea because yesterday I definitely tried to use the bucket method. So, Sarah, how do I start being a smart, lazy learner? What's tip number 1?
Tip number 1 is called invisible learning, or using your pocket time.
Invisible learning? Like magic?
Think about your day, Mark. How much time do you spend doing things that don't require your brain? Walking to the bus, folding laundry, waiting for the microwave?
A lot, especially waiting for the microwave. I just stare at the food spinning around.
That is dead time. The lazy learner turns dead time into English time. You put your headphones in, you play a podcast like this one, and you just let it play. You aren't studying, you're waiting for your food, but your brain is hearing English.
So I don't need to sit at a desk? I don't need a pen?
No desk, no pen, just ears. If you do this for 20 minutes a day while doing chores, that's more than 100 hours of English listening in a year, and you didn't do any extra work.
Wow, 100 hours for free? I like that price. Okay, so tip 1 is fill the dead time. What's tip number 2?
Tip number 2 is the 5-minute rule.
5 minutes? But Sarah, my teacher in high school said I need to study for at least an hour, or it doesn't count.
Your teacher in high school was, well, let's just say they liked the bucket method. The hardest part of anything is starting. Mark, when you look at a gym plan that says work out for 90 minutes, how do you feel?
I feel tired just reading it. I probably won't go.
Exactly. But if the plan says do 1 push-up, what do you think?
I think I can do that. That's easy.
And once you're on the floor doing one push-up, you usually do 10. The lazy learner tricks their brain. Tell yourself, I will read English for just 5 minutes.
It's so small you cannot say no.
And that is consistency. That is the daily cup of water for Robert the Rose.
I'm starting to feel better about myself already. Okay, give me the final tip. Tip number 3.
Tip number 3 is eat the cake, not the recipe book.
Eat the cake? Sarah, I'm getting hungry. What does this mean?
Imagine you want to enjoy a chocolate cake. Do you sit down and read the list of ingredients? Flour, sugar, eggs, baking powder?
No, that sounds dry and boring. I want to eat the cake.
Exactly. In English, grammar rules are the recipe book. They're boring instructions. Content, like movies, stories, and conversations, that's the cake. Stop studying the rules of the language and start consuming the language. Watch a Netflix series. Watch YouTube videos about things you like.
So if I watch a movie in English, I'm actually learning?
Yes, that's input. Your brain is hearing the patterns. It's much more fun than memorizing a verb table, right?
Much more fun. I'd rather watch The Avengers than read a grammar book any day.
See, lazy learning is actually fun learning. Now, Mark, we used some big, fancy words today, and I want to make sure everyone understands them completely. Shall we do a quick word tour?
Let's do it. I think I know them, but test me.
Okay, the first word is efficiency. Mark, what does efficiency mean to you?
Efficiency. Is it doing something really fast, like rushing?
Close, but not exactly. Speed is part of it, but efficiency means getting the best result with the least amount of wasted energy. Running in circles is fast, but it's not efficient because you don't go anywhere. Walking in a straight line is efficient.
Ah, I see. So drowning the plant with 500 buckets was not efficient.
Exactly. A waste of water and energy. Okay, next word is consistency.
Consistency. That means doing something again and again, not stopping.
Yes, perfect. It means behaving in the same way over time, like the small cup of water every single day. That's consistency. Okay, one more difficult one. Immersion.
Immersion, like going underwater?
Literally, yes. But in language learning, immersion means surrounding yourself with the language. Imagine you're swimming in English. Your phone is in English, your TV is in English, your music is in English. You're immersed.
I like that visual, swimming in English. Hopefully, I'm a better swimmer than I am a gardener.
I'm sure you are, Mark. So, English buddies, that's our lazy guide. Don't stress, don't burn out. Be smart, be efficient, use your pocket time.
And remember Robert the Rose, 1 cup a day, not a bucket once a month.
We'd love to know, what's one lazy thing you're going to do today? Are you going to listen to a song, watch a clip? Let us know in the comments below. We read every single one.
And hey, speaking of doing things that take very little effort, there's a little button down there that says subscribe. It takes about 0.5 seconds to click it.
Haha, Mark is right. If you click that and the notification bell, you won't miss our next chat. It's the most efficient way to learn.
Don't be lazy about that button. Thank you for hanging out with us today. I'm Mark.
And I'm Sarah, and this is English on Air. See you next time.
Hello, English buddies. Welcome back to the studio. I'm Mark.
And I'm Sarah. It is so good to have you here with us today. Whether you are walking the dog, sitting on the train, or avoiding your homework.
Hey, we don't judge here. Avoiding homework is a skill. But Sarah, speaking of skills, I had a bit of a disaster this weekend. A total English failure.
Oh no. Mark, tell us, what happened?
So I was at a coffee shop and this guy next to me, a native English speaker, just started talking to me. He said something like, "Wow, the weather is crazy today, isn't it?" Simple, right?
Very simple. Classic small talk.
Right, but my brain, it just froze. I started translating in my head. I wanted to say, yes, the atmospheric pressure is indeed dropping, but that was too hard. So I just stood there like a statue. I just smiled and nodded like a crazy person. It was so awkward.
Ah, the statue mode. We have all been there. Mark, do you know why you froze?
Because my vocabulary is bad?
No, because you were trying to write a book when you should have been playing tennis.
Tennis? I thought we were talking about English.
Conversation is like tennis. If someone hits the ball to you, you don't hold the ball and give a speech about the ball, you just hit it back, fast. Today, we are going to teach you the cheat code to fluency, how to sound like a native speaker while saying almost nothing.
Saying almost nothing? That sounds like my kind of lesson. Lazy and effective. So what is the secret?
The secret is reaction words. Mark, when that man said, "The weather is crazy today," you didn't need a sentence. You just needed to say, "Totally."
Just totally?
Yes, or "I know, right?" If you say that, you sound fluent, you sound cool, and you didn't have to think about grammar.
Okay, I love this. I want to learn these magic words. What are the best ones? Give me the starter pack.
Let's start with the big three. These three words work in 90% of conversations. Number 1, really? Number 2, no way. Number 3, that's crazy.
Really? No way. That's crazy. Wait, I just used them.
Exactly, and you sounded completely natural. Let's play a game, Mark. I'm going to tell you a boring story. I want you to react. Don't think, just use the big three. Are you ready?
I was born ready. Hit me with the boring story.
Okay, so yesterday I went to the supermarket to buy some milk.
Really?
Yes, but when I got there, the door was locked.
No way.
I know, and then I realized it was Sunday. They close early on Sundays.
That's crazy.
See? Mark, you didn't contribute anything to that story. You just made noises, but it felt like a real conversation.
It felt great. I didn't have to conjugate any verbs. I just vibed with you. This really is a cheat code.
It is, but we can go even lazier, Mark. Sometimes words are too much work. Sometimes you just need a sound.
A sound? Like a grunt?
We call them active listening sounds. In English, silence is scary. If I talk to you and you're silent, I think you don't understand me. So you need to make the magic sounds. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Oh. I feel like a caveman.
A fluent caveman. Let's try the story again. This time, don't use words, just use sounds. So, after the supermarket closed, I decided to walk home.
Mm-hmm.
Then it started raining.
Oh.
And I didn't have an umbrella.
Uh-huh.
Perfect. Mark, you are a master of doing nothing.
I have trained for this my whole life, Sarah. But seriously, this is helpful. Because when I was a statue in the coffee shop, I was silent. If I had just said, oh, or mm-hmm, the guy would have kept talking.
Exactly. You keep the ball moving. Now for the final level of the cheat code. What happens when you do have to speak, but you need time to think?
That is the panic zone. That's when I start sweating.
We need to give you a pause button. In school, teachers say, don't say or like or you know, but I say use them. We call these filler words. They buy you time.
So instead of silence, I say,
Yes, or even better phrases like, well, you know, let me think. That's a good question. If you say that, you buy yourself 3 seconds to find the answer.
That is genius. So if someone asks me, what is your opinion on the geopolitical crisis? I can just say, well, that is a good question. Let me think. And then I run away.
Yes, run away, or just change the subject. But seriously, these fillers make you sound human. Robots don't say, humans do. Imperfection is what makes you sound fluent.
I feel so much lighter. I feel like I don't have to be perfect anymore. Sarah, we've covered some cool concepts today. Shall we do our famous word tour to lock it in?
Let's do it. The first concept is fluency. Mark, what did you learn about fluency today?
I learned that fluency isn't about knowing every word in the dictionary. It's about flow. It's about keeping the tennis ball moving, even if you just use a grunt.
Perfect definition. Flow over perfection. Next word, reaction.
Reaction. That is the cheat code. It's showing the other person that you are listening, like saying, really, or no way. It turns a monologue into a dialogue.
Yes, and the last one, awkward.
Awkward. That's me in the coffee shop. It means uncomfortable, strange, or silent in a bad way. And the best way to stop things from being awkward is to make a noise.
You've got it, Mark. You're ready for the coffee shop now. English buddies, we hope this episode helps you relax. You don't need to be Shakespeare, you just need to be present.
Exactly. Stop trying to be a genius, be a lazy listener. And hey, before you go, I have a challenge for you. In the comments below, I want you to practice your reaction words. Sarah, tell them something shocking.
Okay. Did you know that octopuses have 3 hearts?
Whoa. Okay, English buddies, react to that in the comments. Type really, or no way, or that's crazy. Let's see who's the best at being lazy.
And if you want to keep hanging out with us, please hit that like button. It tells YouTube that our English buddies are the best community in the world.
And click subscribe and the bell, because if you miss the next episode, that would be, well, awkward.
Don't make it awkward. Thanks for listening, everyone. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Mark. And this is English Flow. See you in the next one.